Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Sedona, and this is Jeff.
Hello.
Today I'm going to be drawing Paimon from Genshin Impact, part 5 of drawing Genshin Impact characters. So without further ado, let's get started. So, as I said in the last video where I was drawing Cyno from Genshin Impact, I said that I would draw his weapon in the same video that I draw Paimon. Because Paimon is such a small character, it would have been a very short video if I had only drawn Paimon, so I decided to add his weapon. It doesn't take super long. I just had a lot of trouble drawing his weapon because of the direction it was facing. So I'm just drawing that, and it only takes me a little bit, but this drawing session, this video, did span over 2 days. So there's one day where I draw his weapon in the first half of Paimon, and the second day where I finish Paimon. Genshin Impact weapons do have like a lot of details, so I tried my hardest to make it so that it looked somewhat like his weapon. I'm not exactly sure what it's called. I know what a ton of the other weapons are, but I don't know cynos. So I am just drawing different details. He has lots of little like lines, different veins with different like glowing aspects kind of. So I'm just trying to accurately depict all that while getting the shape in without it looking weird and bending. The first few tries it did look super weird and looked like it was bending a lot. So I am just working on that, and there are lots of different little details. Not exactly sure what they are. I'm just trying my best to copy the reference picture. It was a little bit difficult with all these characters because they are so detailed and so unique. So yeah, it was a little hard to do all that, but luckily Cyno was the only one with a complicated weapon. Lumine's weapon was pretty simple, relatively simple, because it's just a sword. So yeah, I'm just finishing up all the little details of his pole arm. He has so many different details that it got all jumbled up and together, so it was pretty hard for me to try and accurately like copy, or not copy, but like draw. But I tried my hardest, but now I have finished with that, and it's not my best work, but I was okay with it, so I just went with that. Now I am starting to draw Paimon. I drew Paimon before Lumine because Lumine is in front of Paimon, and Paimon is not in front of Lumine. And I draw all the characters that are like more, I don't know. Anyway, so my hand looks really special there because I decided that I wanted to color on my hand and then put it on my knee for a pump on my knee because I'm really smart. But anyway, as I was saying, Paimon is behind Lumine, so I decided to draw Paimon first so that I could get like the depth of all the characters and where they are placed better. Sorry if you hear weird stomping, that is my brother. So anyway, Paimon has a really round face because she is like a child, even though she's not actually a child. But she's like more of like a chibi-esque type character, or like an anime child. I don't really know how to explain it. But so I just gave her like a really round face, kind of like, because she looks like a child to me. She sounds like a child to me, even though I know she's not a child, but I don't know. I always think of her as one. Anyway, so Paimon was probably the most simple character on this drawing. She didn't have nearly as many details as all the other characters, but it still took me quite a long time. It took me a couple hours that I split into 2 days. So this is the first day, and then the second day will be coming up in a few minutes. Her hair is like a white color, with gray shadows. So to color it, it will be kind of complicated to color because it is just white, but I still need to add like shadows and things, and I don't want to just like add gray for the shadows because that's so boring and it doesn't have any depth. So I'm going to have to figure out the best types of shadows to use for that, or the colors to use for that, but we'll see when that moment comes. I'm just drawing her hair right now and all the details on her hair. Then I'm adding her little neck piece. She has like a little like circle type thing that goes around her neck that I am drawing. She has lots of different little emblems on her outfit. So like she'll have different, like, I'm not exactly sure what to call them. Just lots of different things on her outfit. So I was just trying to draw those. So I am just making her hair, which it has, it's only really sectioned off into like two parts. There's the front piece and the back piece. So it wasn't too complicated to draw. I feel like hers was probably the easiest, aside from Cyno's, because hardly any of his hair is showing. But I would say that Paimon probably was the easiest to draw in all, not just because she's so small, but also because she doesn't have much detail. She mostly just has like a few little emblems here and there on her outfit. So I'm just drawing all of those, and she is kind of off in like a fighting pose, or like almost scared. So she has her arms out and her legs, and one of her legs kind of bent. So I had to draw those. So there were different little parts, like Skara's hat goes into her, so I have to like erase the parts behind that, but overall it wasn't too complicated. It wasn't complicated. Paimon is a very easy character to draw. I've drawn her only once before, as like a little like funny little sketch, and I am planning to do a sketchbook tour where I show you from the start of me drawing my anime to up until now, or whenever I post it. So subscribe if you want to see that. And then you will see the other Paimon that I drew, and hopefully it will have drawn more Paimons by then. I really like Paimon. I think she's a really cute character. A lot of people say her voice is annoying, but I don't find it too annoying. That could just be me. But I'm just drawing more of her top half right now, like her head, the different details on her head, and her little halo crown type thing. Actually, I do draw that a little bit later, but I'm just drawing like her little scarf cape that I'm not exactly sure what to call it. I'm not exactly sure what to call most of the things on any of the Genshin Impact characters. But you will probably notice by now that there are 2 erasers. That is because my cousins were over at the time of my filming this, and my younger cousin, he really likes to draw with me. So he was watching me draw for most of this, a lot of this, whole drawing actually. But he also did like play with like my kneadable eraser and stuff, and he threw my erasers on my drawing. Not threw, but like set. So that is why that is there. Anyway, I am just drawing more things on Paimon, her other arm right now. She has a pretty like puffy sleeves and like clothing in general, because she is a pretty small person, or whatever she is, but her clothing is very big. I don't know how to say it. So I'm just trying to draw that in a way that doesn't make her look too big in just her clothes. So I am just drawing her other sleeve, and her hands were super easy to draw because only like 3 of her fingers were showing for it. So it was super easy to draw her hands and her arms and stuff. now we are at the second day, and you can see the lighting is different. But now I am working on the lower portion of her body, and this is when I will draw her legs, her face, and then her little halo crown type thing. So anyway, I am now starting drawing her legs. One of them is bent more upwards, while the other is more straight, even though it still is bent. But this one is coming more towards us, like facing towards us. So I just drew that. So I am just drawing that. Paimon has pretty long legs for such a small character. Her legs probably do make up most of her body. They're probably longer than her head and torso combined. So I tried to make her have long legs without them being weird looking. So I'm just drawing her knee. Most of her leg is hidden behind Cyno's mask type thing. So it was pretty simple because she is mostly hidden by other characters. When I draw Lumion, more of her will also be hidden. Anyway, I'm just drawing her boots now, and I would say that her boots probably have more detail than her outfit does. Because there's so many different things that go like around it, and they do go pretty high up to the top of like her lower portion of her leg, like her calf. And she has pretty small feet, and in this drawing they're facing upwards, so I had to try and draw that to look like that without them looking super flat, or without any dimension. So now I'm just drawing her other leg and all the other details on the lower portion of her outfit, including like the little other pant part, not sure what to call it, leg. Then I'm drawing her other leg, and her knee is hidden by the knee in front, so I had to have that go through, but it wasn't hard to do, but it is quite a bit longer, so I had to try and make it look like her legs weren't different sizes, but that was relatively easy, and I was able to get it done. Anyway, I am sorry that my hand is covering a lot of my drawing, but it's kind of hard to position my hands in a way where you guys can see it without it being super awkward for me to draw. So sorry for that. But I am just drawing the details on her boots, and it wasn't hard, it was just mostly time consuming, which is why it took me a few hours to draw her. But I would say that she was probably the shortest drawing, not the shortest video though, because I did include Cyno's weapon in this because she was so small and short and easy to draw. But I am just drawing her boot, and they are pretty close to like her leg shape, so her ankle does show, or the heel does show with it, which gave it more depth and made it look better and less flat. So I did add that, and then I just added the different details on her boots, and I like to shade different things when I draw, just so I know like the way different things are facing and where shadows would hit and where darker things would be. Something I do in every drawing. It's something I talk about in probably every video because I always do it. I do realize that her foot looks a little interesting, and it looks like it doesn't really look like it's her foot, and it looks just more like attached to her leg because of how small it is compared to the leg. But it looks okay in the end, and I am happy with how she turns out in the end. But I'm just drawing different details on her outfit, and then Now I'm just continuing drawing different details that are on her outfit, because there are quite a few details, even though she is the least detailed of all of the characters in this drawing. But she still has details, because that's just how Genshin Impact is with all the different characters and all the unique character designs. I love the character designs and the different details in Genshin Impact, so I don't mind drawing any of these things because I love drawing. Now I am just starting on her little halo crown thing. I'm not exactly sure what to call it. I'm just gonna call it halo because that's what it looks like to me, even though I feel like angels are thought of when you think of halo, but I'm just gonna call it a halo. Because it is just a floating object above her head, floating crown above her head. So a halo is what I'm going to call it. But this has it has a lot of detail. But it has like a middle part that was just shown a little bit, except for the fact that my hands covers it while I draw. And again, I'm sorry for that. So there's the middle part with like different, like, it has more detail than the halo itself, because then the halo, or there are two side parts that I've just drawn that aren't super detailed. They just have like little like etching designs in them, so those were pretty easy to draw. So I am just drawing that, shading that, super simple, not much to talk about. And now I'm almost done, except for the little etching designs that are in the part that goes around her head. But it was super easy, so there isn't a lot to talk about it. It's just mostly like little triangle details, and then I shade a little bit because that's what I like to do. So I'm not going to say much about that. Yeah, so it's just little like triangle design with like a line on top. I'm not really sure how to explain it good. But yeah, it's a super simple design that's in the halo, except for the middle part of the halo, which is more complicated. So I won't say much about that, but now I am starting to work on her face, and she has a surprised expression, but also kind of like scared or angry, because her eyebrows are furrowed, but her mouth is open as if she's surprised. And I'm not exactly sure what's off in the distance that everyone is looking at. Candace, Cyno, Paimon, and Lumion are all looking the same way, except for Alhaitham, who ends up having more of a profile view, so he looks like he's looking at something entirely different, which I think is kind of funny because everyone's looking at the same thing except for Alhaitham. So I find that funny. But I am just drawing her eyes, and her eyes were super easy because they were so small, and I've probably never drawn eyes so small like this before in this style. So yeah, I'm just drawing her eyes that were super easy, and I didn't have to erase at all, because I was pretty happy with how they turned out the first try. Paimon does look super big right now, but I measured from the reference picture. She was about the size of Cyno's head and torso, and that is how it was in my drawing, so I decided to stick with it, and it looks better as I continue with Lumion covering her a lot. I love the irises in Genshin Impact because there's so much detail, and they all have like different types of pupils. Like Hu Tao has like kind of flower type pupils, while Skara has more of like rectangles. So I love the different eyes in Genshin Impact, and if I could just draw like a super big drawing where the eyes are super big, kind of like how Skara is, but just like bigger, like my whole paper just dedicated to one character. And I will be coming out with a short pretty soon of coloring Hu Tao. Haven't done that before, so you can look forward to that hopefully in the future. But we are nearing the end, so this is my finished Paimon. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to turn on post notifications, and I will see you next time in part 6 when I draw Lumine. Again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.